Keeping you on your toes. Keeping you on your toes. God, I really wish I could stream to TikTok. But the Ellison pedophile family are just all over those censorship filters. And boy, they do not like me. They do not like hearing that Trump is a pedophile in the Epstein files a million times. No. They are, not fans of the truth or, generally speaking, reality. So, got to avoid the TikToks for a while. At least until they stop being a bunch of censorship-filled little pansies. Are just all over those censorship. Okay, so I definitely have audio. Welcome everybody on Instagram. How are you? Let's copy this. There we go. That's easy, wasn't it? I must eat. Achoo! Oh, God. I hope I didn't blow anyone's eardrums out with that one. Oh, wow. That physically hurt. Okay, let's see. What do we got to do here? I love how it always cracks me up how women always have like little tiny, cute little pixie sneezes, and then I've got this frickin' Balrog of a voice, and I'm just like, Hafra! I just Fusroda my way out of a sneeze. Oh man, that one, I felt that one. Oh man, I think I sneezed out some brain particles on that one. Holy crap. Okay, let's get down to it, shall we, people? We got stuff to cover. The governor's race is heating up. It's getting crazy. So Tom Steyer, as everybody knows, is a billionaire. And the simple fact is that nobody gets to be a billionaire without being a criminal as well. So that's Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer, in a nutshell, he is a billionaire criminal. That's really all there is to it. There's no more nuance of any kind. However, he is saying the stuff that the base wants. Not the party, because the establishment are all fucking idiots. But he is saying what the people want. Just like what Trump did. He said what a lot of brain-dead, moronic, racist idiots wanted to hear. Tom Steyer is doing the opposite of that. For example,
you've called ICE an organization which is absolutely wrong and criminal from top to bottom. You've promised to prosecute ICE agents if you become governor. How would that work? How would you actually practically hold to account federal government agents in California?
Well, let me say this. I do think we should be working to abolish ICE because I do think it's a criminal organization, and I don't believe that you can reform it.
See that right there. He believes it's a criminal organization. This is not the minority view, even among Democrats. This is the majority position. I can't remember the exact scenario, the exact stats, but it's somewhere upwards of about 60 people either want to defund or abolish ICE. That's big. And the Democratic establishment has voted repeatedly just this year to fund ICE. They're doing the exact opposite of what the people want, which gives an opening. Oh, it needs to... Hang on, I got to get this to fit the vertical screen. There we go. But he is taking the position that he's taking the populist position, right? This is popular. It's what people want. And he is taking it while the establishment is doing the exact opposite.
Criminal organization. So therefore, we need immigration services, but not from them. And we have a policy. I'm encouraging you to go on our website and look. We have 5 points. The first 2 points are about we will prosecute.
God, he really does not look good. He really looks like a scarecrow. I mean, I know this is a windowsill back there, but it looks like a crow is perched on the back of his jacket. Just caw, caw, caw.
People in California, including ICE agents, who racially profile people. It is illegal.
Even if the DOJ claim federal immunity?
There is no federal immunity for someone who's breaking the law, who is not performing a legal federal function.
That's going to be a very hairy, That's going to be a very hairy thing to argue in court. But I think it has legs. I think it's valid. I'm obviously not a legal person. I'm reasonably familiar with the law, having sued several corporations and about to sue yet another. But either way, we need to take that risk. How many times have we seen Trump go to court over the most bullshit of things? For example, the CBS blackmail deal. Didn't he also sue ABC and CNN and they just paid him out? Trump is willing to go there and do all of this stuff. Why are we not willing to do the same? Why are we not willing to take that risk and say, you know what? ICE agents are criminals, and we should put the best case forward that we can every single time.
Breaking the law in California, which is racially profiling, is illegal. That's not performing a legal federal function. Secondly, we have said we will prosecute people who commit violence against Californians, like ICE agents, and we will go up the chain because all the people who think they're immune from doing this, we're sending the ICE agents out into the street to do it and think they're safe. We will also prosecute.
This is a key point because you can prosecute as many ICE agents as you want. It's not going to make a difference unless you also get accountability from the criminals like Stephen Miller, like Tom Oman, like I'm actually drawing a blank on the other folks in charge. Well, Kristi Noem's out, but she was involved in that stuff too. And until you get those folks, even DAG Todd Blanche, right, and of course Kash Patel, until you start prosecuting the people, this is a mob. Trump's regime is a mob. It's the dumbest fucking mob possible, but it's a mob, right? Instead of La Cosa Nostra, they're La Dumbass Mafia. That's what they are. And until we start prosecuting those people at the top, we're going to continue to start seeing this action. And this is what criminal investigations do. They start with the low-level, they start with the addicts, then they work up to the dealers, then they work up to the managing dealers, and finally they get the kingpins, and that's how they knock off these gangs and these drug chains. And that's exactly what you have to do with the criminal regime. That's what they started to do with January 6th, but of course, Merrick Garland slow-walked everything, and look at where we are now.
So in answer to your question, do I think that the governor of California should be upholding the values and the laws of California against a group of masked men with assault rifles who come in to racially profile, terrorize, and commit violence against Californians? I think if you don't do that, you don't deserve to be governor, to be honest.
So acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, who's stepping down, in February, he called your comments calling ICE a criminal organization disgusting and said elected officials just use ICE as a political football. What do you say to him?
Thank you. When the head of ICE says that you're doing something wrong and you're unfair to ICE agents, my point is thank you. I said
this is a really good tactic because, again, it's like, I don't care if you boo because I've seen what makes you cheer. So that's a very good tactic. Judge me by my enemies, and his enemies are the Trump pedophile terror regime. That says a lot.
To you earlier, sometimes when you know someone's enemies, you know what they stand for. And if you look, Mehdi, if you look at the people who have been calling me out, Donald Trump, the head of ICE, electric monopolies who are trying their heads off to retain their legal monopoly to overcharge Californians, big oil companies who are ripping us off at the pump, who have been polluting. I mean, one of the things I say is polluters pay. Realtors, because they're afraid I will drive down the cost of housing. I will make it possible for people in California to make ends meet at the end of the month and buy a house. Yeah, those people are all opposing me and only me. And I would say to you, look, I'm the only progressive on this ballot. I'm the only change agent.
Change agent, that's the key.
Because all the people who stand for what I can't stand are against me, and I take it as a compliment.
I mean, how do you argue with that? Every single enemy of the people is against Tom Steyer. What do you do? This is very different from Trump 1.0, where the people who actually support the people, all these human rights organizations, the SPLC, all these people were against Trump. And all the people that were for Trump were criminals like Paul Manafort, Steve Bannon, and just absolute creeps and pedos like Alex Jones. So when you have electric companies, when you have gas companies, when you have all the stuff, the head of ICE, when all these people are after Tom Steyer, what does that say? Now, Tom Steyer has a very bad background. Of course, he's made a lot of money on private prisons. He says he's ditched that money and he's gotten rid of it or whatever. But again, he is a criminal. Billionaires are criminals. There is no way that he did not get that money without enriching himself off of the back of the working class by enslaving them with piss poor wages. That is just a fact. And this is what the Democrats do, man. They let populists like this guy, who may or may not be telling the truth. This may be genuine. I don't know. Right? I don't know. But he's saying all the things that the people want, that the people need. For example, Javier Becerra, you Google abolish ICE. I'm not using AI overview. So it looks like there is, as a lawyer, I'm going to explain why, this is Threads. I don't have a Threads account. Colleagues don't trust him. Why should you? You search Javier Becerra abolish ICE. Why should you? Javier Becerra, as I said yesterday, so it doesn't, son of immigrants, he's been Trump's indiscriminate Matt Mahan on Instagram. California governor candidates call for ICE to be, 7 candidates still going to become. So this may cover his position on ICE. Let me see. Because I don't know if Javier Becerra is in favor of abolishing ICE. Let me see. Tony Thurmond, Matt Mahan. Javier Becerra, Services. Attorney General of California said as the state AG, he defended against Trump's attacks when he tried to coerce state and local law enforcement to conduct ICE raids. Yeah, and you also didn't enforce the fucking sanctuary state laws that we have, you fucking hack. Tell you as governor, we will police the immigration police. No, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Javier Becerra has been the state attorney general since Trump was inaugurated, and he has never once prosecuted an ICE agent for any crime. He has never once enforced our sanctuary state laws to keep these pedophile terrorists like ICE out of our neighborhoods. Not once. So I don't buy any of this bullshit. But even so, look, let's go back. What the hell? Like, there's nothing clear on where he stands. Will he abolish ICE or will he not? He didn't say in that thing. However, you Google Tom Steyer abolish ICE, stop ICE from terrorizing Californians. ICE is criminal. Before Tom Steyer said he wanted to abolish ICE. As a governor, I will abolish ICE. As a governor, I will abolish ICE. Tom Steyer, how California can put ICE in jail. Tom Steyer, hey, ICE in California, you follow, forget abolish ICE. Tom Steyer wants to jail ICE. It's very clear he has staked out a very concrete position here. And this is the kind of thing that makes centrist hacks and institutionalists like Javier Becerra fail when they're up against a genuine populist. Because the populists believe in the shit that they're saying, or at least they know enough to double down on it and keep going it and never back off. Just like Trump did in 1.0, just like Tom Steyer is doing right now. Whereas people like Kamala waffle and hand wring and clutch their pearls, and they will say whatever in the fuck they want to get elected. That's just what these centrists do, and that's why there is now an opening for a billionaire criminal to be the next governor of California. Might be bad, might be good. We don't know, and that's why it's such a huge fucking risk. Javier Becerra is the corporate candidate in this race. PG&E launches $10 million pact to take out gubernatorial candidate Tom Steyer. You can't see something like this happening and not be like, oh, okay, PG&E, the criminal organization that burned an entire fucking town to the ground in California. That is a fact. Paradise, California, they had cut corners and they didn't do maintenance on their equipment, and so then an entire fucking town burned down because of their piss-poor management. And now this criminal enterprise wants to take out Tom Steyer. What does that say? There's one thing you need to know about Javier Becerra. As congressman and AG, he demanded the HHS secretary use march-in power under federal law to lower the price of government-developed medicines. Then, when he became HHS secretary, say that 10 times fast, he literally refused to do that. Javier Becerra could lower drug prices, so why isn't he? Biden's health secretary has called on the feds to limit pharma price gouging, but now that he can do so, he's dragging his feet. This is the exact same shit we saw with Merrick Garland. We do not have time for fucking foot draggers and knuckle draggers. Calls are growing. Use administrative power to control in a way that Becerra himself supported both as a member of Congress, California Attorney General. So as delay in doing so spotlights the gap between Biden's campaign promises and the actions of his administration and his personal picks. While much of the ongoing political debate about lowering the country's wildly used every possible tool during his presidential campaign, Biden promised to tackle out of control pharmaceutical prices. An obvious way it could do now would be exercising his power to employ march-in rights. Such government rights were established under the Bayh-Dole Act of 1980 and give federal agencies the power to license patented products to other manufacturers if they were developed with government funding under special circumstances. So this right here could immediately lower drug prices by giving, like insulin and drugs like that into the hands of other competitors. Janet Cardenas, welcome. And that could lower the costs, because there's more competition on the market. The federal government has never exercised those rights in the 40 years since the law was signed. The July letter, Amy Klobuchar, HSU used marching rights. So he didn't do it. That's the position Becerra has taken in the past. So again, we know who Tom Steyer is. We also know who Becerra is, because he didn't do the shit that he said he would. And then there's even more on this. Top opponent of single payer maxing out to Becerra, which we want single payer here in California. It's extremely popular. This is what the people want. So he takes the money from the organization trying to destroy that bill, trying to destroy that policy. So in the span of 5 days, Javier Becerra seeks the endorsement of a doctor's lobby, assures them he doesn't support single payer. They endorse him, and they max out to his campaign. He's telling you exactly who he is and what he'd do if elected governor of California. Believe him. Hang on, I got to get my fan going. It's hot in here. All my rapid-fire talk is making me work up a sweat. Hot damn. As Attorney General, Becerra fought in court to protect cops from accountability for things like excessive use of force and sexual assault. The more I learn about Becerra, the more concerned I am about him possibly becoming governor. Remember that Becerra fought against California's new transparency measure at great expense to taxpayers. This was an article written in 2020. FEC, joined by public news outlet KQED, sued last year after Becerra's office refused to turn over records. Don Murphy, 119, welcome. Refused to turn over records in response to California Public Records Act request seeking the information newly available after SB 1421 into effect on January 1st, 2019. The law, which covers instances of serious use of force, sexual assault of a member of the public, and official dishonesty, ended decades of secrecy over police personnel files in the state. Writing for the three-judge panel, Justice Karine Fujisaki said the new transparent positions were in acknowledgement of the extraordinary authority vested in peace officers and the serious harms occasioned by misuse of that authority. The First District Court of Appeal in San Francisco, in a unanimous opinion, rejected Javier Becerra's argument that the new transparency law, known as SB 1421, doesn't apply to records his agency has obtained or created related to officers employed by local agencies. The court also rejected Becerra's arguments that producing the records sought by FAC and others would be too costly and burdensome. Becerra's office at first argued that SB 1421 was not retroactive, so old files could remain shielded, a position his lawyers abandoned after the Superior Court ruled against him. FAC and a media coalition previously won a separate appellate court ruling rejecting the retroactivity claims. But Becerra's office continued to maintain that the law only required the release of records related to an agency's own employees. A San Francisco Superior Court judge rejected in May. Becerra petitioned the appeal court to review that decision. So yeah, he's out here trying to keep the records closed of pigs that rape and molest women and children. I mean, this is just fucking insane. This is an insane thing to do. This was in 2019. The bill was passed. I'm a little unclear when. Oh, the article was written in 2020. So, I mean, this is only 6 years ago. The guy did not change for the better in that short time. In fact, if anything, we're seeing these change for the worse. So here we go with single payer. This was at the debate.
I believe everybody in California has a right to health care. But the truth of the matter is, it is eating up our budget. And it's more than that, Alex. It is eating up every single family. You talked about how many people are giving up healthcare so they can make healthcare so they can make rent. You're talking about businesses that can't compete because healthcare is so expensive. And it is eating up the budget of the state of California. When people sit here and say, let's do the same thing, we can't afford to do the same thing. It is eating up our budget. Look at the numbers. That's why I changed my mind, Katie, because I looked at the facts. Single-payer healthcare systems cost half as much as the system in total.
She has been such a
that we have now. And yes, it's going to be a big, job to get us to single-payer. But the truth is, we don't have a choice because right now people are suffering. They're giving up healthcare. Every medical crisis turns into a financial disaster, the truth is we don't have a choice but to go to single payer, and you need somebody who's going to fight for it.
But
And the person who's going to fight for it.
Why do they cost less,
to,
though?
to clarify, Mr. Steyer, on the question of health care for the undocumented,
I said everybody in California has a right to health care. And let's answer
California
this out.
should fund that.
The truth of
I love how this fucking prick is trying to make healthcare for undocumented immigrants a gotcha. Go fuck yourself. Immigrants put more into taxpayers' coffers and into our treasury than any other demographic. And they don't use it. White people like me use that shit more than undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants are paying, if I was to go on unemployment or Medicare or whatever, they pay that. I mean, I pay my taxes too, but they pay more. Why would they not get the benefits of what they are paying? This is such a horseshit argument. Kingsman7764, free healthcare for all. Yes, my brother, preach. Bring that energy in this chat. I fucking love it.
the matter is, immigrants built this state. Immigrants make this state run.
Yeah.
Legal.
The fact of the matter
I want to
is
hear that
we
again.
had a
California should fund that.
The truth of the matter is, immigrants built this state. Immigrants make this state run.
Yeah.
Legal.
The fact of the matter is, we had a broken immigration system, and now you want to victimize the people who are working here and making the state run.
Thank you,
As
sir.
Antonio said, try and get rid of them. You can't do it.
See, and I don't know, man. He speaks with such. I buy it. I don't know if he's taken some fucking Meisner lessons up until this run. He's just become an incredibly good actor, but I buy it. There is a passion, there is an intensity, there is a belief system backing what he's saying. I think I have some clips of Becerra, so let's see, how he speaks. But I mean, just him saying, what was that alone? Him saying California immigrants built this state.
Healthcare, and let's answer
California
this out.
should fund that.
The truth of the matter is, immigrants built this state.
I mean, in this political climate, that is not a common thing to hear from politicians. And he's saying it. And it's also the truth. So you have a politician that is saying something that's not rarely heard, and he's also saying something that's fucking true. That's going to it resonates with me, at least. And I'm sure for a lot of Californians that are, descendants of immigrants and naturalized citizens are going to hear this too, and it's going to resonate. Okay, so here's Becerra. Let's see what he says.
Do you support CalCare, California having its own state-run
he's so defensive. Look at him.
single-payer system?
He knows
yes
he's caught.
or no?
That looks like someone caught in a trap.
Is that a question?
Sure, go ahead.
As I said, when I was Secretary of Health and Human Services,
I
I was
I'd
able
like
to.
my
So
time
is that
back
is
if
that
I'm
a,
not gonna
is that
answer.
is that a yes or a no?
I'm answering the question.
Okay.
So the most important thing about
This is the kind of shit that people hate about politicians. They're asked a simple yes or no question, and they waffle. They give a fucking word salad. They just spew up vowels. They just start singing fucking, what's that Mary Poppins song? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's what this shit comes across as.
having a Medicare for all plan is that it includes everyone for all, and having a
Is that a yes or a no?
I'm answering the question.
Okay.
So the most important thing about having a Medicare for all plan is that it includes everyone for all. And what we have to do is get to the point where we are covering everyone with something like Medicare for all. So I am absolutely
That's what
for
CalCare
Medicare
is.
for all,
Congresswoman-
and we will get there. We'll build towards it because that's the way you get folks covered.
Yeah.
That's the way I did it. at
Congresswoman Porter, then
HHS.
Mary.
What does that shit even mean? We have that shit working through the California legislature now, CalCare. It is a Medicare for all option for the state of California. Are you for it? Are you against it? Do you want something completely different? That didn't answer shit. People can't fucking stand this political bullshit. And the reason he's not giving an answer is because, as we saw earlier, he's taking all this fucking money from the people trying to kill CalCare. And he's not going to cop up to that.
Here goes, a Congresswoman.
Covering everyone with something is not single payer. It's not even federal Medicare for all. But you won't say that whether you support California having its own state-run single-payer system. Look,
I hate Katie Porter. She has been a complete disappointment. for a lot of people who tried to work very hard to get her elected in a deep red area like the OC, and she has been a Zionist pig her entire fucking career and has turned her back on her own constituents, on her own people that got her elected to go for this centrist horseshit position. That said, she is saying the right shit here to hold him accountable.
Tom ran against single payer in his presidency before he changed his mind and has decided to run for single payer. I'm not disputing that, Tom. I'm making sure everyone knows. And you've been consistent on this point. You've been consistent.
I'm going to
Wait,
answer that.
but I want
You're done.
Javier
Different perspective.
to answer the question. Do you
Hot potato porter? What the fuck? Okay. Oh, because she's playing a hot potato. Okay, I get it. I get what you're saying.
support California having its own single payer system?
I thought that was a reference to her fucking hair for some reason. I don't know why.
Yes or
And
no?
Katie, the answer there is that Californians don't care what you call it,
Oh
so long
my
as they have
God.
affordable health care that they can use to take their child to the doctor
Yeah.
or the hospital
Well, I'd
when
like to
they
use
need
my
it.
Right,
magic
yeah.
wand and
Alex,
give
can I-
everybody affordable
can I
health.
respond?
It's Maravir.
I mean, I see what she's going for, but that's kind of a dumb thing to say. No red or blue, no Republicans or Democrats, no conservatives or liberals. It's all haves and have-nots. Wake up. Erwin Curtis, bro, are you not seeing what the Republicans are doing that are in charge? There is a gang of pedophiles running this country right now. And don't give me this shit about, oh, the Democrats are in the Epstein files too. If the Democrats were in the Epstein files, Trump would have released that shit on day one. But the simple fact is, even if there were, it is not nearly as incriminating. I don't even believe that there's incriminating stuff on Democrats in there, because he would have selectively got the shit out there about Bill Clinton, or he would have selectively got shit out there about Obama or whomever, even though the only shit about Obama is in the Epstein files, is them talking shit about him because he's so likable and so successful. So don't give me this shit about there's no Republicans or Democrats. There are, and the Republicans are the pedophiles that are currently running the country. Wake up to reality, my dude. You tell us to wake up, and then you're denying the actual reality. Fucking sheep behavior. She threw hot mashed potatoes on her husband. Holy fuck, is that what you're talking about? She threw hot mashed potatoes on her husband. Damn. I missed that news cycle. The Epstein files were back in Bush Sr. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, they were occurring back then, but we didn't have, there wasn't, because like the Epstein surveillance didn't start until the late 90s, if I recall right, somewhere around there. So I'm not sure what you mean by that comment. So I love how the RNC thought they had a gotcha here, and they got a complete self-own. An unhinged Tom Steyer insanely suggests President Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, is sending ICE agents to California to racially profile and calls ICE a criminal operation. ICE is a criminal, to me, is a criminal operation. I've said all along we should abolish ICE. And he's correct. There have been courts that have ruled exactly this. Hell, Stephen Miller, Tom Amon, Kristi Noem, their own training has said that ICE agents should do exactly this. Racially profile people.
The governor of California should hold people accountable who break the laws of California, specifically including ICE agents and the people who send them to racially profile, which is illegal, and use violence against Californians, which is illegal. And it should go up the chain to the supervisors, right up to Stephen Miller. If he's sending people to racially profile and hurt Californians or kill Californians,
I want a remix of this. It should go right up to Stephen Miller. It should go right up to Stephen Miller. And if they're going to come out here and racially profile, we're going to jail those bitches. I want a fucking remix of this shit.
he should be held liable. It is not legal for federal agents to come to California and break the law. It is absolutely critical that California's governor does stand up for everyone in California. That, in fact, ICE, to me, is a criminal operation. I've said all along, we should abolish ICE. It's breaking the law. It is coming here deliberately to break the law.
And I can't tell you how much this resonates with me personally, how much this resonates with the protesters that I've gone with out in the streets to protest the ICE terrorists as they kidnap people out there, as they take them to the MDC. I cannot tell you how much this is going to resonate, even with like mainstream liberals. There was a comment, a tweet that I saw back during one of the No Kings protests, and there's like fucking soccer moms and boomer dads out at these No King protests with signs saying dead pedophiles don't reoffend and shit like that. Like, people are mad. We've seen poll after poll after poll on this. The Democratic base is furious with the establishment because they're not doing anything. They're sitting on their fucking hands. They're going on vacations while our doors are getting broken in by the ICE Nazis. Our family and friends are being picked up off the street. People are pissed. And right now in the California race, Tom Steyer is the only guy that's picking up on that and channeling that anger. The missing files were from 2001 and 2019. Missing files were from, what do you mean? Oh, I see. You're saying that there were files back in Bush Sr.'s. No, I'm confused on what your point is. You realize that the Epstein-Trump pedophile ring was just starting under Bush Sr., right? Like that, they weren't under investigation at that time. I don't understand what your point is here. Chicago teachers bust kids to the protest. Okay, fucking and? Like, who fucking cares? That sounds like a bullshit talking point for starters. And two, so fucking what? It is a First Amendment right. It's good that kids are learning about what it is and how to fucking exercise it properly. So here we go. This was March 30th. Biden gas versus Trump gas. 235 under Biden. 369 under Trump. But wait, there's more. Biden gas 9/11/24. $2.35. Trump gas 5/5/26. This was like near the end of the Biden presidency, and this is like not barely even halfway through, not even halfway through the Trump regime, and the price is almost doubled. That's insane. And again, this is shit that we can prosecute. This is shit that Javier Becerra could have been prosecuting, but he was too busy taking fucking donations from companies like this during school. Who fucking cares, dude? You ever heard of a field trip? What in the hell are you trying to make what point do you think you're trying to make? Kids have fucking field trips all the time. I had field trips all the time. They didn't teach me jack shit. But going to a protest and learning that there is community that is against this, learning that we have rights. The teacher could give an entire presentation while talking during the protest to the kids about how we got the First Amendment, why it's so important, and the monarch and the kings that we had to topple in order to get it. What point do you think you're making here, dude? I can't tell if you're just some MAGA dude in disguise trying to play centrist, but I ain't buying it, man. So here we go. Speaking of gas prices.
Okay, we'll go to Steyer, then we'll go back to Becerra. Mr. Steyer.
I do think it's rich to hear someone talk about $3 gas who is owned by Donald Trump, who has driven up the gas price by at least $1.50. And I do think it's rich for somebody who is
not as rich as you,
Tom, who's kicking 1 to
What
3 million people off Medi-Cal, the poorest people, most vulnerable people in California, so that he can lower the taxes on the richest Americans and the biggest corporations. The truth of the matter is, what I stand for is shared prosperity, real growth, supporting businesses, but sharing it work so that the people in California get what they need.
Thank you.
And going after corporate special interests is the way we're going to drive down costs.
Thank you, Mr. Steyer.
Was Jesus a necromancer? Oily Peach. Do you read the stuff that you type? Do you proofread before you say things? Why would you come into a political chat about the California governor's race and think, oh, you know what we need to talk about? Jesus. What the hell are you thinking, my friend? I already covered this one. So this is Tom Steyer versus Katie Porter.
No, I have said that billionaires like me should pay more taxes and the big corporations should pay more taxes.
Excuse me,
and
you
that's
literally
why,
said...
if this proposition is on the ballot in November, I'll vote for it. But
so, for example, look at Becerra when he was asked a direct yes or no question. He waffled. He gave a big word salad. He said, oh, but what is coverage anyway? What's the deal with covered California? What's going on? Whereas Tom Steyer is like, if it's on the ballot, yeah, fuck it, I'll vote for it. Like, you could not be more direct and clear-cutting through the bullshit. Just keep it in mind. I have no idea what you're... People on the internet are so fucking weird. I don't know what... Please, go outside and make a friend. Holy crap.
Going forward, we do need to go further. This is a one-time tax, and it also doesn't spread the money across the government the way everything else does. And specifically, it doesn't go to education and teachers and students, which is a critical need in the state of California. The tax I'm proposing to close a corporate real estate tax loophole is more money, and it's spread throughout
I
the
have
only
not-
candidate
I
that's
have not
actually
gotten
balanced two
equal-
budgets.
Congresswoman.
I'm confused. Do you support the billionaire's tax that is going to be on the ballot in November? Yes or no?
Katie, I just
He
said,
just said that.
I will vote for it if it's on the ballot in November.
So,
And so what I've said is,
but you just said it wasn't a
doesn't
good idea.
go far enough. That in fact, it
Oh
is a
my
one-time
God.
tax, and it also doesn't spread the money throughout the government. Look,
Let me
we
weigh in.
have an
I'm the
education
only
system. We're
candidate
gonna
that's
beg them.
Katie Porter has been an incredible debater in past circumstances, especially that time she was on Bill Maher. I can't remember who it was, but she absolutely ate his fucking lunch. And yet, wow, this is a total flop from her. Granted, this is, like an hour and a half, 2-hour debate, so, but still, these are not her best moments. This ended up on our highlight reel. So we're talking about Javier Becerra. Again, this is a former Biden admin alum, Xochitl Hinojosa. She was head of public affairs for the Justice Department. Okay.
Because when I saw him in the administration, and I think a lot of people did, and that it's people understand this, he was not effective in governing. And I think that a lot of people in the Biden administration are talking about this because they realize that he was not an effective HHS secretary. And if you ask any cabinet secretary, they would tell you the same thing. And so
I hate
think
Van
that
Jones.
there is
What a loser.
I think people recognize this, and I think this is why Tom Steyer has gone to the top.
So she's saying a lot of the stuff that I am here. But then, of course, Nira, let's cover up sexual abuse in my organization, Tandon, is saying, as chair of White House domestic policy, I work directly with Becerra, often daily, and this is BS. He delivered on Medicare drug negotiation. That was through the legislation. What is she talking about? $35 insulin. Yeah, that was through the Medicare stuff. Health coverage for 14 million more people. Okay, fine. Yeah, he did play a part in that. We appreciate that he got big things done. And the least favorite cabinet secretary, well, that might have been closer to your old neck of the woods. Is that a really... She can... God, Nira Tannen is just the worst. I think this is a reference to Merrick Garland. And it's like, just fucking say it. Stop beating around the bush. I also admire Steyer's long record on climate. Lots of good people here, but I have to set the record straight. Keep in mind, Nira Tandon has been leading the smear campaign against Hassan Piker. While, again, we have a gas crisis, we have a housing crisis, we have a war crisis, we have a pedophile in the White House crisis. And Nira Tandon has spent days now targeting fucking Hassan Piker rather than focusing her fire on the people in charge. This is why the centrists always lose, because they would always rather punch left than fight back. And that's also how fascists win. Keep in mind that this numbskull was yucking it up with Benjamin fucking Netanyahu. She is a Zionist. She is an evil baby killer. She is a genocide supporter. And I don't know where the fact that Nira, it's supposed to be heart, I misspelled it. I heart genocide Tandon supports Becerra is almost more reason to vote against him than actively asking corporations to bribe him. What the hell? So the fact that Nira Tandon is against Steyer, if anything, just tells me maybe I should actually think about voting for this guy. Several demonstrations are gathered outside the ICE deportation field office at Varick Street and West Houston in Manhattan to protest against any parking garages in the neighborhood contracting with the agency to house its deportation fleet. Again, this is what the people are doing. Where are the elected representatives? Where's the city council members? Where is the New York State legislature? Why are they not at these events? Where's Schumer? Oh, that's right. He supports this shit because he helped whip votes to keep it going. Shocking stuff from the CEO of Vornado Realty Trust on his latest earnings call. I must say that I consider the phrase tax the rich, quote, tax the rich, when spit out with anger and contempt by politicians both here and across the country to be just as hateful as some disgusting racial slurs and even the phrase from the river to the sea, Roth said. He also criticized Mamdani's singling out of Griffin, calling it an ugly, unnecessary video stunt. This is so fucking pathetic. Do you need a safe space, a little CEO snowflake? Okay. Instead of saying, tax the rich, how about I say, We should all work together and tax the rich. From the river to the sea, we will make sure CEOs are no more. Does that make you feel better, you fucking snowflake? Yeah? Did your little hurt feelings go away? It's amazing. These people have millions, billions worth of dollars, and they can't buy a thick fucking skin. And again, this is shit that Neera Tanden could be focusing her fight on rather than fighting Hassan Piker. Because this is actually something that her and Hassan would agree on. Senate Republicans have introduced a budget bill that would allocate $1 billion in taxpayer funds to Trump's ballroom project. Again, this is shit we could be fighting. This is a very winnable fight. This is something you could make a campaign ad if the fucking centrists weren't busy trying to stifle down the tiny bit of progress that the left has been able to get within the party. And again, this Pete Hegseth's top aide, Parlator, hired Epstein's lifelong lawyer, Indike, to his Florida firm. The plumbers of Epstein Gate. Hello, oversight Dems. Again, we haven't heard shit from the Epstein files for a while now. What in the hell are the Democrats doing? Oh, that's right. They're fighting Hassan Piker. Never mind. Answer my own fucking question. And now, this was the lady who led the charge in the Virginia redistricting race. This is Senator Luis Lucas, Luis Lucas, who is an absolute baller, total fucking badass. So, Fox News just happened to be in the area in Portsmouth, Virginia, where the FBI is raiding the office of Virginia Senate President pro tempore Luis Lucas, a Democrat and close ally of Virginia Governor Spanberger. Federal law enforcement sources tell Fox this is in connection to a major corruption. Major corruption what? Major corruption probe, and the FBI is serving multiple search warrants approved by a federal judge at her office in a next-door cannabis dispensary. More to come with correspondent Alex Hogan TV, who reports that Lucas just showed up on scene as the FBI reaches her office. So let's keep in mind a couple of things. Donald Trump is a pedophile. His regime is filled with corrupt, self-dealing pricks who make polymarket bets based on insider trading. You want to talk about corruption? You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than the White House. So this is all just theater. And we see the complete incompetence with Kash Patel, where they staged a shooting and somehow a shooter got close to Trump. He was on the next fucking floor up. I mean, they're completely fucking incompetent. And then when the FBI needed to send special teams out to crisis areas, they couldn't because Kash Patel and his fucking dopey-ass drugged-up girlfriend were using the planes. This is utter horseshit. We should take this about as seriously as we took the White House Correspondents' Dinner stage shooting. Everything that comes out from this investigation, this probe, is sus and bullshit, and we should not believe a fucking thing about it. The same day that did this, the Department of Justice dropped an investigation into Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles, who, among other things, stole $25,000 in donations meant for his stillborn child's memorial garden. Again, who does this? Who are these people? Are just fucking evil. There is no coexisting with a person who asks for donations for his stillborn child to make a memorial garden and then pockets the money so he can, what, go skiing? This is just insane. There is no these people all need to be locked up. I'm not fucking kidding. We need to jail every single one of them. And he would have been, but the Department of Justice, in its absolute ineptitude and self-dealing corruption, dropped the charges. And I double-checked this story to make sure. Scandalous developments that have unfolded at Donald Trump's blah, 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 is frequency with which federal prosecutors have investigated and indicted the president's perceived political foes. But nearly as important are the cases the DOJ has pursued are the cases that federal prosecutors have dropped. Latest development in Tennessee, for example, CBS affiliate, the U.S. Department of Justice appears to be preparing to drop a nearly 2-year criminal investigation of Andy Ogles, agreeing to return or destroy evidence seized from the diehard MAGA Republican before the FBI ever got a chance to review it. That criminal investigation had focused on potential fraud involving campaign finance reports filed by the Maury County Republican during his first run for Congress in 2022. Yet again, and keep in mind, Trump pardoned a fucking drug dealer. He pardoned a crypto dealer who then gave him millions of dollars. So everything to come out of this is fucking horseshit, and I don't buy it. And here we have again, babies who don't get the vitamin K shot are 81 times more likely to develop severe bleeding. In many cases, oxygen can't reach their brains and blood pools around their skulls. Yet, driven by misinformation, more parents are refusing the injection. As this story points out, Candace Owens has been a huge proponent of getting parents to refuse vitamin K shots, an idea that is now killing babies. Republicans are child killers. This is not rhetorical. This is factual. Whether it be stuff like this, refusing to get vitamin K shots, which gets kids killed, or whether it be denying Sandy Hook, which encourages more school shooters, or whether it be spreading bullshit about the measles vaccine, about the polio vaccine. I mean, there's Republicans out there who have listened to the bullshit coming out of RFK Jr.'s Darth Vader mouth, and their kids have died. And they have said they wouldn't do anything different. Again, this is not hyperbole to say that Republicans need to have their children taken away. They do. If you are going to deny your child life-saving care, you are not a parent, you are a danger. If you are going to force your kid to live through the crippling, painful disease of something like polio, you should not have children. Your children will be better in a fucking foster home than with baby killers like the Republicans are. And these are the people that love to say, oh, but we love children. Oh, but save the kids. Remember Save the Children? Remember the Save the Children campaign? And all the people behind that turned out to also be pedophiles? Yes. Jail more Republicans. Tom Steyer, please run on that. MS Now has learned that FBI agents are probing the reporter who wrote a detailed story of Patel's alleged heavy drinking and erratic behavior. Here we go again. They're investigating his perceived enemies for doing the First Amendment. Who was the guy? User TTBR549 said, why would you bus kids to a protest? Because they would learn about how dangerous shit like this is. They would learn about the First Amendment and how fascist regimes are the ones that do crap like this. Okay. And then, of course, the Republicans love to talk about the leftist violence, and yet the Republicans are the ones who had one election and tried to overthrow the entire fucking country based on their hurt little fifis. So here we have dipshit Michael Knowles in a debate with Mehdi Hassan, and boy, this is going to be glorious because Michael Knowles supports the MAGA terrorists and pedophiles that took over on January 6th, and he can't even call that shit out.
There is no precedent for January 6th. We were used to peaceful transfers of power. Richard Nixon agreed, even though he's probably robbed by JFK. Al Gore agreed, even though he's probably robbed by George W. Bush. Donald Trump actually lost, for sure, and he still didn't accept it and incited a riot. Michael says, oh, Democrats thought it was the worst day in history. Do you know who said, bar none, it was the most horrifying day in American politics in my lifetime?
Mike Pence.
No.
No, I don't know. You kept quoting him, so I assume.
Guess again. It was Ben Shapiro on January the 7th. He said it was the most horrifying day that I witnessed in American politics. Noted Democrat
Got him.
Ben Shapiro
always
said
disagree with that guy.
on January the 7th. So let's just deal with some facts here. The people who attacked the Capitol were not going on private tours. They were not just a horn hat guy. It was people like Daniel Rodriguez who assaulted Michael Fanone, put him in a stroke, got 12 years in prison.
I just want to say it's always so amazing how Mehdi just has these he's like, I'm good with like broad stroke, macro information. I can sometimes sneak in a few specific references, but he's great at both. I mean, he just has the broad point that he's making, and then he has the specifics. Like, what'd he say? Daniel something? What's the guy's name?
People like Daniel Rodriguez.
Daniel Rodriguez.
I mean, put him in a stroke,
just
got 12 years in
he's
prison.
just a fucking Rolodex of information.
Hate and violence. Donald Trump pardoned him. It was people like Andrew Paul Johnson, who was just sentenced to life in prison for sexually abusing 2 children in Florida. Donald Trump pardoned him for January the 6th. He pardoned a neo-Nazi called Bradley Tyler Dykes, who did a Sikh Heil salute as he attacked police officers. These are the people Trump pardoned. Michael has never condemned Trump for that. Harry Sisson asked Michael on his show earlier this year, would you condemn Donald Trump for doing that? And he wouldn't answer the question. He said, I'll never condemn Donald Trump. Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning neo-Nazis, domestic abusers, pedophiles?
Well, hold on. Was he one
do you condemn Trump for pardoning?
I'm just asking a clarifying question about that guy. Was he one of the neo-Nazis who was getting $3 million from the SPLC, or was he a different neo-Nazi?
Nice diversion. I'm not Harry Sisson. I'll use up my time. Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning neo-Nazis, violent criminals, people who assaulted 140 police officers on January the 6th?
One last real clarification.
He won't answer.
One last real clarification.
I'll ask again. It's a simple question. Do you support pardoning the...
See, Mehdi knows that he's just going to deflect, and that's how you do it. You just keep bulldozing them, man. You just keep pushing, and it's like, let me ask another question. It's like that one video of the guy getting on the not skydiving, but the rappelling thing, and he's getting pushed on his chairs. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. That's Michael Knowles. Listen to him. Listen to him.
I'm not Harry Sisson. I'll use up my time. Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning neo-Nazis, violent criminals, people who assaulted 140 police officers on January the 6th? One last real clarify. You won't answer.
Yes. Let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. It's that exact same thing.
One last real clarification.
I'll ask again.
Do you, no, it's a simple question. Do you support pardoning the 600 people who were charged with assaulting police officers? Did he pardon them for like Daniel Rodriguez? He pardoned them for assaulting police. Oh, do you support that? All right. Okay. Do you support that? Daniel,
I missed
do you
that.
support pardoning the 600 people who were charged with assaulting police officers?
Pardon them for
like Daniel Rodriguez? He pardoned them for assaulting police. Oh, do you support that? All right. Okay. Do you support that?
All right.
3 times he hasn't answered.
Assaulting police.
Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning 600 people?
And see, this is classic centrist bullshit. He has a point, so she's going to turn on him, being like, no, you can't do that. That's mean. You're hurting his feelings. Look at how twiggled he is. Look at how twiggled you're making Michael Knowles. You can't ask those questions. You can't ask questions. Rather than being like, oh, this motherfucker is not answering the question. Yeah, we should get some fucking facts in here. Answer the goddamn question. Horrible moderation.
Who assaulted police officers?
See?
4th time. Can you do it?
I'm happy to. I condemn.
A good moderator would be like, no, actually, answer the fucking question.
Pedophilia,
Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning January 6th rioters? He won't do it. He will not do it.
I mean, it's just such fucking transparent bullshit. Now Trump is announcing peace and war in the same statement. It's complete incoherent. Don't bash it. Okay, here's the time. I fucked up last time I tried to do this in Hank Hill's voice, so I'm going to try it. Whoa. Assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is, perhaps, a big assumption, the already legendary epic fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be, sadly, at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I sell propane and propane accessories. Man, my Hank Hill hasn't gotten it's taken a slip or two. I get it. I need to watch more episodes because I've been doing Obama so much more. So now my Hank Hill bleeds into Obama, and I haven't been able to separate it ever since. My mom told me that when I was doing it at a family event, and she said, your Hank Hill is starting to sound like Obama. Whoa! I've never been able to separate it since. And, of course, again, Neera Tanden, this is shit we could be focusing on. A Washington Post satellite imagery review reveals that Iran has caused far more damage to U.S. military sites than previously reported. Amid a U.S. imagery blackout, Iran has released more than 100 images of strikes on U.S. bases. We analyzed them. WashingtonPost.com. Oh, sorry. I'm just reading the URL now. This is a complete waste of money. But keep in mind, Neera Tanden supports this. Oh, I can't read the article? Okay, fine. This is what Neera Tanden supports. She is a Zionist. She has backed Benjamin Netanyahu. And this puts our people in danger. Americans in danger. This is kind of crazy. Look at this. Yeah, I wish I could read the article. Are these before and after? Or maybe this is before and after? No. So maybe this is the whole base, and these are individual pictures of that base? Or these are separate? Maybe these are all left to right from top. Naval Support Activity Bahrain, Isa Air Base, Rifa Air Base, Erbil International Airport, Harir Air Base. Looks like a mortar or something. Ali Al Salem Air Base, Camp Arifjan, Camp Buring, Shuaibah Port, Hudaid Air Base, Prince Sultan Air Base, Al Dhafra Air Base. Wow, so that's what, 12? Yeah, 12 different bases that Iran has hit. This is insane. This is unthinkable back in the day. It's really challenged U.S.'s JZ Long 2130, welcome. This has really challenged the U.S.'s status in the world, and we're wasting our time over there. We're wasting our money over there. We're getting people killed on both sides, our people and Iranians. And this is the shit that Neera Tanden could be fighting back against. But she's not, because she supports this shit. And that's exactly why centrists like Javier Becerra and can't be trusted. And that's exactly why populist billionaires like Tom Steyer are given an opening because the centrists, the establishment, are not doing what the people want.
Everybody needs to think about it this way. If Iran had a nuclear weapon and they decided to close the straits and make our gas prices like $9 a gallon or $8 a gallon, we wouldn't be able to do anything about it because they have a nuclear weapon. And a nuclear-armed Iran could do whatever the hell they want with the straits, and there's nothing anyone would be able to do about it.
Which is kind of what we do as a nuclear-armed superpower. Pamela, welcome. Yeah, it's much quieter compared to last night. It's kind of nice. I can actually go through what I want to say.
And that's one of the many reasons, apart from like the massive loss of life in a nuclear strike, why Iran can never have a nuclear weapon.
Which they wouldn't even be close to having if your dipshit pedophile Fuhrer hadn't ripped up the JCPOA. The JCPOA was what Obama got to contain Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. It was a complete and total success. And now Trump can not even get that. He can barely even get them. I don't think he can, actually. Last I read the reports that Iran is not willing to give up nuclear enrichment. Why would they? They've seen they have the power. Not only that, but they've seen how weak America is, that it's a paper tiger.